it's your girl Meek, and welcome to Meek's Bottom Line. I have my crew here. Got Noop, we have Adrian, Key, and Rocky. And what's the bottom line tonight? We all know. We all know. So I'm gonna start with my bottom line is I knew it wasn't right. I knew when I turned on the game that I just felt something that I don't know if it was low energy or all the things that we've been discussing for these past couple games continue to be our problem, from the bench to the poor shooting. Tobias Harris, I'm sorry, his shots, they were good shots. They just weren't going in for him. It just wasn't his day. And of course, the topic of today was Ben Simmons and what to do with Ben, a guard that can't shoot. I say don't trade him. Just he will not be a starter. And we need to find someone who can shoot not just free throws, but jump shots, dunks, layups, all of the above. So do we revamp the whole team? Do we get rid of Doc? Absolutely not. Doc is his first year. The process is still going. I just think we need to move on from Ben Simmons. Ladies first.
Well, okay. Did you said don't trade him, bench him, but then we need to move on from Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons being like the top two.
We can't do that. He's 20. Okay. Okay. He's 24 years old. He didn't fit here. And I don't know what more you can get from him, but we don't just bench him. He's 24 years old. Let him go. Maybe he'll do better. So, it seems like every time somebody leaves here, they do a lot better, with the exception of a few. Mm-hmm. But we don't have the right to do that to him. I mean, we can't just
the right to do what? Him coming off the bench?
Him. No. Either we find him some help and training or whatever he needs, or he finds it himself and he works, or he doesn't and we cut him loose. We can't just bench him. We either have to get something for him or make him work for us. And if we can't make him work for us, then we gotta let him go. So that's my take on Ben Simmons. And am I for him staying or going? I'm definitely for him to go, because I think that his time here is just done. We've lost faith in him, and he may have lost faith in us. I don't know, but I would prefer to ride with a big guy. I know I've talked to several people, and they kind of disagree because they think that Joel is injury prone and like his window of opportunity is closing, and he, will have less and less games in him as the years come. I don't know. I know in my mind, every team that's won a championship has had a big guy, and they've had somebody to help that big guy. So I don't want to say let Joel go, but and as far as the game yesterday, they were who we thought they were.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really disappointing because I've been a staunch Ben Simmons defender since 2016. And I really don't know where to put my finger on this. And it's not like this just showed up yesterday. This has been chronic with him for the last 5 seasons. He has not really improved his offensive game every year. We get subjected to these little videos of him in a running, pickup games, and he's shooting J's there. And then when it comes to the real games, he's reluctant. He's just a reluctant scorer. But there were times where he just attacked, so it's not even about the jump shot. It's not about the art of the jump shot for me. It's about the ability to attack the rim. And if you get fouled, so be it. If you miss the shot, so be it, just do it. And so I'm on the fence with Ben right now. I know everybody's ready to jump off the Walt Whitman, and I know everybody's trying to get this guy out of here, but his trade value is shot. You ain't going to get anything back for him, right? We got to keep that in mind. So, and we also got to remember, we can't bench him. He's making $33 million over the next 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. So, you can't have him on the bench. So if we do keep him, what they better do is get his ass in that gym, put a lock on the door, and get people on his ass, because he likes to be a celebrity. He wants to be a celebrity. He's dating all these hot Instagram women overseas and stuff like that. The Jenner girl. He's got to get off of that realm, because I think with Ben, his life is built around perception. He wants to be liked. And it's key because you can tell, right? Like he came here when he got drafted here the first 2 years, he sounded like Crocodile Dundee or something. And now he sounds like the fourth Migos. How'd you lose your accent, bruh?
He worked on that. He should have worked on that shot.
Yeah.
He's working on that because that's more important to him, perception, right? So what I would say is the front office needs to get a sports psychologist on his ass, and they need to just lock him up in a room, and they need to have like a bi-weekly sessions, figure out how he can find his confidence. Because I know trading him would feel good for the moment,
right?
But if all you're going to get back are, honestly, you're going to get like a Fred VanVleet back, and and just guys that you're just going to be coming off the books, or you can send him to Portland. You're not going to get a Dame Lillard. You can get a CJ McCollum, maybe.
That's what they're saying.
But you're not going to get much for him. But the better option, I think, now that I've been sleeping on it, is you get him a sports shrink. And then you find everything you can do to get North Philly's own Kyle Lowry back here in Philly as a free agent, unrestricted. Do whatever it takes to get him here and have him unveil a new confident Ben, next season. But if you're going to trade him, I'm okay with that too. But what can you get back for him after he has destroyed his trade value? Defensive Player of the Year runner-up, none of that stuff means nothing. The dude's gun shy. And if a GM trades for him, his reputation's on the line if that same Ben shows up to that organization.
Yeah. I agree. And just to clarify, I didn't mean bench him and not play him, just don't start him. Because, he does, his contract is heavy. It's just like and I know people have been saying, I've heard a couple compared to Carson Wentz and everything, but I'm just saying, but I don't want to rebut yet. Go ahead, Rocky. What's your take?
No, you're right. 4 years, I think you got left 4 years, 146. So yeah, it's enough. Keon touched on a hell of a point. It's not that you're not shooting the jump shot, because any real guy that knows the game and sees the game, it's not so much about the jump shot though, but when you pass up a wide open dunk, and then your reason behind it is because you thought somebody was behind you. You were scared to get fouled.
Yep.
Too. Like you put on record and said, well, you made the pass. I had the dunk, but I made the pass because I thought somebody was behind me. So if they were behind you, they're going to foul you. So you're still scared to go to the line. Like that's really psychological for a player now that's been in the league that long. Yeah. And I don't know if I really want to waste the rest of Joel's years and or even the other players' years on someone that's that's mentally just not there, and not there. And we've seen signs of this over the past few years now too. I think it's now time to address it before it gets worse.
Right.
Before it gets worse. So I disagree to an extent though on as far as his value. Now, the defensive player of the year, especially an elite wing, where that market is huge in the NBA. An elite defender wing that can guard 4 positions easy and or even 5, depending on the point guard. That's elite. That is elite. That there is a market for that.
But the problem is he's not enough. He's not really a power forward.
It'll be unique, and Daryl Morey has some. Daryl Morey has a name in the league, so he may be able to do some things. If you go with your free agent market, I think like Keith said, great point with Kyle Lowry, absolutely, because actually Kyle will be the. I think me personally, Kyle will actually be that elder statesman that'll get those guys in line. Like he's a bulldog. Like he'll get those guys in line, but he got to be on the floor. Kyle's had some injuries over the past 2 years, so that's going to be difficult. But I know he can get those guys in line. He's just like a Rondo. He does all the dirty work.
CP3 Diet Coke version.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Let's give Nupa a chance.
And you got another Raptor too. You got DeMar DeRozan. You can get DeRozan too, and you can probably get him on.
He's a free agent.
Him on a good deal.
Yeah, I think he's a free agent, but he's going to want some coin.
Yeah, but I mean, he's on a decline too. Minutes are diminishing too. He hasn't played a lot of minutes. I mean, he hasn't played the normal starter minutes that he's been playing over the past year because of injuries.
Listen,
so I mean, you have an option
Nupa
there.
wants to jump in.
I'm doing real good at really like containing myself. And I know I'm supposed to be doing the boxing segment, but I think y'all are really still sugarcoating this Ben Simmons guy. I'm almost thinking like he don't want to play basketball. He might want to play another sport. I don't know if he played another sport, but watching him play in these playoffs make me think he wants to do anything but play basketball, because we all know the object of basketball and how you win is to put the ball through the hoop. I don't care from how far, from how close, from however, but you get points by putting the ball in the basket. And watching him pass up the dunk,
yes,
is like, I don't know what else. And I heard this said on the radio, but at that point right there, would have got him benched if I was coaching. And
me too.
And at this point, I would take any guard, any guard would have won us that series,
right,
against Atlanta. Any guard playing their point guard position to their at their weakest potential would have done better than Ben Simmons, for the simple fact he doesn't shoot.
Did you guys watch his documentary when he was coming out of high school?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
we did.
He used to be a good shooter,
back then.
a good shooter, or whatever. So at this point, I don't know what the problem may be, but if I'm, from the outside looking in as a fan, I would think that either one, somebody bought him, because you watch his play, you would think that he was like bought, because how do you pass up I don't care how you would have done it, pick it up, dunked it, whatever, but your instinct is to put the ball in the basket.
Right.
So watching that is like he just had they say it's mental.
It's got to be.
How mental? When you don't put the ball in the basket when you're standing right there.
That would have been 2 points. What are you scared of?
Tie game. Tie game.
Right.
It's an and one. He gets to the line. Let's say he misses it, and we get the offensive rebound and the putback.
And that's just that play.
Right.
That's just the one that just stood out the most. Yeah. How do you go like what 4? I think he went in the fourth quarter for the last 4 games without shooting.
He had 5 points yesterday. 5 points.
That's ridiculous. That's not acceptable in high school basketball. That's not acceptable at the nearest recreation center. Nothing.
And he's your star. He's your star player. That's what I'm saying. Like it's going to be very difficult.
Right now, they can put him
that much just because they play great defense. This is a new NBA, and the new NBA isn't going to be as grindhouse as we loved it back in the '90s. Look how the Atlanta Hawks beat us. It's just perimeter, spot up, hit threes, penetrate.
That left his defense questionable. How good is your defense if you allowed them to score?
Correct. He couldn't get through the screens at all.
Him at that position is definitely an out.
It's a liability. Yeah.
And again, like Key was saying, who would even take him? You'll probably have a problem giving them away right now.
Adrian, you want to jump in?
Well, I mean, as much as I agree with everything we're saying about Ben Simmons, I agree with it all. Anybody know the stats of Joel's points in the fourth quarter of the last however many
8 turnovers.
8 turnovers.
And a turnover.
That's big.
So it's definitely a team lackadaisical effort that was put forth.
Even with the coach.
Coach
right. That's what I want to touch on.
He got out-coached several games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Several games. We were talking about chess and checkers. I think he was playing like shot put or something. I don't know. He was shuffleboard. He wasn't matching up with what Atlanta
McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
At one time, he had a group on the floor that never played together at all throughout the whole season.
And listen, Atlanta tried to give us that game. Trae Young had a horrible game.
He sure did.
He had a horrible game.
That's another factor. He had
But then
the
we
game
didn't have
of the
anybody
season.
on Kevin Horder. That's who killed us. Kev, the
And
redheaded
who
dude.
is he? Who is this?
I know that's what.
Played for University of Maryland. He was a straight killer. First round pick.
Mhm.
He was
Well,
a straight killer. He just
Made
doesn't
name
look
for
like he
himself.
can play.
He did what we were supposed to do.
And if
I
you
mean, he
take,
did name for himself.
with all that stuff being said, because you can't take nothing from all those people who performed
Mhm.
or how they did, the factor is Ben Simmons.
Yeah, amen.
That's
It
it.
has
That's the main one
And
because
it's unfortunate
Yep.
because it's a team effort. But
I
when-
agree with that, but we had games where Tobias Harris stunk it up.
yeah,
But
yeah.
he's-
You can't
He
take a
do-
day
everybody
off. You
do a bad
cannot
game.
take a day off.
We're
When
talking
you
game
are a
7 at
professional,
home.
Everybody's
you
due
can't call
about
it. You can't
2
dial
bad
it in. You
games.
have to actually play. So I mean, Ben, it's enough. It's enough to distribute to Ben, but the rest of the team is not absolved from
But
their.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. We can't lose sight of this. He's shooting 30% from the foul stripe. He shot about 65, 68% during the regular season. This is the worst free throw percentage in the all-time history of the NBA. And the NBA goes back to like the 1930s, all time. And this is your primary ball handler, okay?
Can't be.
And he's missing free throws. Like, I don't know. I think the Mafia got a hit on him. If he, I think the Mafia got money on the game. And they must have got to him.
With the way that he played, I would have thought someone was tied up somewhere. And
Right. Yeah, I think the Atlantic
Like,
City
we got
mob
you
got
covered.
him.
You better.
They
Don't
have
you
money
make a
on this
shot.
game.
Don't take not one shot.
look,
Right.
And then a key
you-
thing is though too, which we touched on a second ago though, was now with Doc Rivers knowing this over the past 3 or 4 games, you would think that Doc Rivers, he's a veteran coach, been there, been to numerous game 7s. You would think
And
that
lost them.
lost
I heard.
numerous game
Yeah, that's-
7.
Lost numerous
he
games.
lost them
Yeah.
too, right? But I'm just saying that you would think that he would devise some kind of scheme to get other players involved to go to the rack or something.
Yeah, listen,
For
that's the
about 3 minutes, he put Maxie in, and I thought he was on his
But I
way. Then he took him right out.
Yeah, I say that to say though, it don't even seem like he listening. It don't even seem like he listening to Doc Rivers, just like he ain't listening to
Correct.
Yeah.
Brett Brown. Yeah,
Correct.
it's like he's not listening to nobody.
That gets you out of here.
He
It
needs to
should.
be in a market that's just going to kiss his ass. He needs to be in a market like a Utah, Portland, where he doesn't have to deal with like nightly criticism and critique like this.
Yeah, because it's going to be it's going to be ugly. It's
Yeah,
going to
there's
be
not a place for that.
He has to get to a small market. And Denver, I heard some speculation about Denver, but Denver don't want to give up any kind of big pieces of their nucleus.
Yeah, we want Jamal Murray. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And they're not going to
He
give
has
him
to
up.
get to a small market.
But I mean, I looked at a couple of scenarios, and you let me know, guys, which one seems to be the most plausible, right? And these are just like 2-team trades, right? No third team or anything like that. So number one, we trade Ben, Shake Milton, and our 2022 second round pick, and then our 2021 first round pick, which is like pick number 28, because you're going to have to put a pick with his butt in order to get somebody to bite on him. We sent it to Portland for CJ McCollum and Nasir Little. What y'all think about that one?
I like that. I like that right there.
Anybody.
You like that,
Yeah.
Rocky?
Yeah, because CJ McCullough, I think he's getting like 28 million in, so he's going to demand 30 at this point. And you can basically, I mean, you'll still win with the Ben contract. So, I mean, we kind of win on the money side too. And plus CJ McCullough is 30 years old too. So with him and still, if you still keep Seth Curry, I mean, you might up him a little bit. So the dollars make sense. Like the dollars make sense there. And I mean, you're still going to be a beast in the East. So you don't have to start everything all over again. I think that's a hell of a win because again, Portland really needs a wing defender. And you're not taking the ball out of Lillard's head. You're not doing that. And Norman Powell, he's going to sign again for a couple years. He's going to get big money.
Yes.
Norman Powell going to get big money because he's going to take CJ McCullough's money. Because he's not going to make $30 million a year, but you'll pay Norman Powell maybe about, a little bit less than $30 million a year. So yeah, that works out. That works out for both sides.
And they got an undersized backcourt, so you get
So-
Ben there. Dame can play off of Ben,
Mhm.
I
So
think it's a
as-
good trade for them.
Since our
It's CJ or
season is
Dame you talk
over.
about.
Mhm.
Okay, so now what do you think about this one right here, right? So we trade Ben Simmons, Shake Milton, Anthony Tolliver, because he's got one more year left with a team option. The 2021 first round pick, which is 28th overall, and then the 2023 second round pick and cash considerations to Oklahoma City for Kemba Walker and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
No,
Take anybody.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
want that because now
Wait, Kimba's not at the Celtics? He's not in Boston?
he got traded yesterday.
Did he?
Ah,
didn't know
I
he got
did not
traded.
But
know that.
OKC is rumored to be wanting to flip him for another. OKC just wants draft picks. And I got to give it to Sam Presti, the general manager there, because he knows in his right mind, check it. The NBA is what, 90% black? What black folks are trying to line up to go take their families to Oklahoma City? For
Nobody.
Oklahoma City, right? Exactly.
right.
Mhm.
It's
That's not
like,
a big market either.
yeah, it's not a big market. It's a very racist city. I've been there, and people aren't lining up for that as their first option, right? So he knows in his mind, the best way I keep this team competitive is if I build through the draft, because that's what got me Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, and I screwed that up. So I got to do this in order to get there again, because
Yeah.
I got to be like the new San Antonio Spurs. Nobody's going to want to come to me, but I can build something and make people come here.
So
So
this,
he wants
this
picks.
is a really good conversation. In fact, now that our season is over, we'll probably just have a whole conversation of what we're going to do next as far as the Sixers are concerned, because it can really take up, it's like a whole, I mean, just thinking about the starters, I'm still processing the loss. So I know Key was done at game 5.
Man.
You were done at game 5. You hung your hat. You was right. So you probably had time to think about these pieces.
Man, the Hawks fans are trying to troll me. I mean, like, wait a minute. I've never seen any of you guys representing the Atlanta Hawks in all my lifetime. And now you guys are coming out of the woodworks to try to troll us. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. Well, they have a
Crazy.
reason to. They have a reason to. We were number 1. We were
No
ranked-
doubt, man. That's why
we
I'm
were
going to
supposed to
be.
be the team to beat.
We were a number 1 seed.
We
Yep.
were the team to beat.
No,
We were the team to beat.
we were number 1 seed. We had some holes and cracks.
Yeah.
Well, obviously we're not ready.
Nope.
Obviously we're not ready.
Nope.
So
I'm gonna tell you this: I don't like any trade that involves Maxey, and I've seen a few.
Right.
Oh, no, we got to keep him. We got to
have
keep the
to
ball. We got to
Maxey.
keep him.
I don't want to
Started
agree.
Maxey.
well, that's where I was. That's where I was. I would have started Maxey
I'd
game
have started
7.
Maxey. I'd have let
Yes, sir.
Maxey play until
I
Maxey
said
got in trouble.
that
Yes, sir. Yep.
bench Ben because he's not doing it.
And the perfect time was when Ben had them 2 fouls, and I thought we was on our way because he put Maxey in for a few and then took him out.
And I said he was going to get benched, but it didn't
Does
happen.
this loss hurt more than the championship games of the Donovan McNabb Eagles?
Not
I
me.
agree.
Rank it right up there with it.
I
In my
agree,
book,
man.
as a
No.
Philadelphia fan, because I'm not a particular player fan. I'm a team fan. I'm a Philadelphia fan.
I'm with you.
So
I'm with you. I don't care about the players. I care about the
when
team.
we had T.O. and all that, and our chance to win a Super Bowl, and McNabb start throwing up and all that stuff,
Yeah.
This ranks right up there with that.
I
Ben
agree,
might as
man.
well have been throwing up under the basket.
No, this one wasn't.
Right on.
It didn't hurt as much,
I
but it
gave up. Yeah.
but
It ain't hurt as much.
it didn't hurt as much. It just
Worse?
made. I don't
This
know.
is
It was like 3
Either-
times to hurt
this
because
is
we
either
had.
tied for the top or it is the top. You can't
Wait a
top
minute.
this.
I don't know.
I
Wait a
don't
minute.
know when they were talking about the
What
Eagles.
about the Kawhi roll around the rim 2-3 years ago?
That hurt.
That hurt.
That
That
doesn't hurt me as bad
Yeah.
because I knew they
That
weren't ready.
hurt.
Yeah, that's a hard.
Dagger
That
to the heart.
yeah,
That was.
I agree.
That hurt.
I
But
agree,
they weren't
Rocky.
ready yet. Let's be
Mhm.
honest. We knew they weren't ready. They were on the rise.
Right.
They were
That
on
was
the
our
rise.
time,
And
though.
What was that decided by? The roll around the rim?
Yeah.
That was the thought about it.
Yeah, see, that's the difference. We talking about a whole player and a whole damn playoff.
That's right.
That's just that.
And
We talking about we watched
leads
this, we watched him do this to us. Everybody knew it, but everybody being the fans we are gave him hope. That's why when people talk about the last game, oh, we got this and it's the one. I said, as a fan, I hope they win.
Yeah,
I
he
don't care
wasn't
nothing
going on the
right
limit
now.
saying that.
Because I've seen
nothing.
them do that to us them 2 games in a row.
I'm not gonna lie. I really don't think we would get past Milwaukee. Since
We'll
Milwaukee,
never know. We'll
I
never.
I agree with
That's
you.
why I said
we'll
that's
never
hypothetical.
know. We'll
Yeah,
never know.
look.
But I kind of
You know
Based,
what?
based on that previous season, I can say we wouldn't.
But you know,
I mean,
but the
the
bottom
previous
line
one-
goal was to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, win, lose, or draw, because we always get put out in the semis every year.
We do.
So it was just the goal for me was just the bottom goal,
Man.
the lowest goal was to get to the Eastern Conference
Further than
Finals.
we did before.
Yeah.
See,
And look, the stars aligned for us. The
Mhm.
stars.
Yeah,
other stuff happened.
That was the
They
whole
took care of the Nets. You know, it's like, come on.
Everything
my
else
God.
happened.
Right.
We
Everything
had
happened.
Atlanta. That's
Look,
it.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I almost wish Ben would have got hurt where we was forced, but you know, to put somebody else
Put
in.
somebody else in.
Oh man. We don't want to see.
I
a
bet you
man.
would have been a
We don't
total
want to see
different.
man
I agree.
down. We don't want
I
to see
agree.
man down. It should have been the coach's
That's the
decision
bottom
to sit him
line.
down.
If his ass was hurt, would have had
It
his
should have been
dance.
the coach to sit him
Because
down.
any other person would have done better
Meek,
than
that's a great point, Meek.
A,
That
real, a
is
real
why-
coach would have like said, you know what, for the team.
Well, he did take him out. He didn't play a lot, and which is another issue.
It didn't matter because even when he played,
We got to take you out because of Hackabin. You should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
but he
should be
didn't do
embarrassed.
any good in or out. I mean, the defense is great,
They need to
but
teach
at the
him
end of the day,
the Rick
I need
Barry
you to
free
score.
throws, the underhand free throws.
Do
Something-
something.
The Rick
I
Barry
shoot better. I shoot better free throws than
Or
Ben
was that
Simmons.
Jerry West? One of them shot like that. I think it was,
or do the Nick Van Exel where he stand like a foot behind the line.
Whatever works.
yeah, it's almost a 3-pointer for
Right.
Whatever works. But to do a punk thing that he did yesterday was
that's
just it was
unacceptable.
It's not even
not,
cool to your teammate. The Thibault was expecting that. You know,
Unacceptable.
then you
Yeah,
put
he looked like,
Thibault. Like, wait, you're right there.
Oh,
why he got the ball? He was like, what the hell?
right. So
Yeah, that
And,
was
and another thing is too,
sickening.
did you see the post game interview with Joel basically throwing him under the bus?
Well, no, he did his best not to throw him under the bus.
Right.
Bus. Actually, when he did that,
No,
he
he-
did his
no.
best.
but that's
He threw
part of the
him under
problem.
bus.
That's
Oh, hell
that's
no.
part of the
Talking about
problem.
If you're
Part of
talking
the
about
problem.
the same quote that I am, he did his best not to throw
What
him
did
under
he
the bus.
say? I
I
missed it.
think he
He
didn't
thought about
say
his words
no.
very carefully.
But well, because he just described when they said what was the changing point of the game.
Yes.
And he slowly
And
said,
he described the moment instead of the player.
What did he say?
Exactly what happened.
He said,
the turning point was when
I believe the turning point was when I went on the basket and he go under for the dunk and missed the dunk. And we tried to give up the dunk. He had a wide open dunk and he missed it and missed the foul shot.
gee, that's right
No,
on.
something
That's
like
right on
that.
point.
No. He was saying
That ain't
how
no-
I like the
the
accent.
guy didn't take the open shot. He gave up the ball
That was a good
for somebody who only made one free throw.
good impression.
I believe that
But
was
that was the changing point.
Good impression.
That
But he was
wasn't
right. We
what
knew he
I
was talking about. It wasn't in Brown. We knew who he was talking about.
Good.
You
Right.
heard what Shaq said, right? Shaq said if he was on my team, I'd punch him in his face.
Yeah, I got
No, I
a kick out of
didn't
that.
see
No, he
that.
said if he was in my locker room, I'd have knocked his ass out.
And
That's
that's probably that might be what he needs.
That's what he said. He said if he was in my locker room, I'd have knocked his ass out.
All right. Well,
But
that's
tell
our
you what.
bottom line with the Sixers. Just real quick before our
Yep.
time runs out, I just want to touch on a little bit of boxing, just a little bit of boxing, because it was a fight last week and we have a fight coming up. Kevin, just give us a little bit of boxing preview.
Okay, I believe it was one of the Charlo twins. It was Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo. Okay, he
They're
fought
twins.
and he underestimated the guy. He ended up getting into a real good fight, and it went the distance. He did win, but he had a good shine of the show that he'd been in a good fight.
And what's going on next week,
We
Kevin?
got Javante Tank Davis will be defending his title against what is this guy's name? Martial, Mexican guy, real tough guy, punches hard and undefeated.
Martial.
And Martial, yeah, there you go. And
Tank moved up, didn't he?
yeah, he's actually moving up 2 weight classes for this to capture his third title.
Is it pay-per-view?
Yes, it is. Pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Showtime pay-per-view. And are you doing something Thursday? I'll
Fight
have
at
more
your house?
information and probably some stats on these guys. And
Night party at your house?
Sure, if the missus invite you, you're more than welcome.
Sure, Adrian, come on over.
I ain't down to inviting.
Might as well jump in the boxing. You guys, any feedback about boxing before we go? Rocky Key?
Last
I mean, it was yeah, the Charlo. I also watched the fight. Like just like Noob said, yeah, it was he definitely underestimated him big time. I think he may have to also move up weight classes to get better fights. Also, I think he's at 160. I think the next fight's probably like 168 or something like that, I guess.
Mhm.
But because I think he wants the big fight with who is it? What's the Golovkin?
Canelo is who he's looking to fight.
Yeah, he wants Golovkin, and I don't think those guys. I guess apparently politics is coming into play. They're not gonna try to give him that fight, but yeah, just like Noob said, he hit everything home run. He took the guy light, and he won. But I mean, he definitely took the guy for granted.
Key,
How old is Canelo now? Canelo's getting up there, ain't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
About 35 or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
He-
he,
you know,
no,
keep
he's
the
not that
name-
old. He ain't that old yet.
So with a
Nah, he-
minute
he
left,
up there, though. I think
with a
he's up
minute
there,
left,
though.
we're gonna table that. We'll do that on Thursday. And you guys can go a little more in depth with stats and about these upcoming fights to get us prepared as we say goodbye to the Sixers. And that speaks bottom line. Thanks, crew. We'll talk to you next week.
And goodbye to Ben.